Okay, I apologize. I had some audio issues. Here we go. So we're talking about Lumia 950 and 950 XL. In the video, I actually used my 950, and what I used with it, you can use the Microsoft display dock, or you can use any USB 3 type dock that will support passing. In this case, it's Miracast, but DisplayPort, Miracast, any good USB 3 hub will work, or just a straight USB 3 to HDMI cable should work. Also, I used the Microsoft Wedge keyboard and Microsoft Wedge mouse. It is a good keyboard and good mouse, and it was originally purchased for the purpose of Continuum, back when Continuum was a thing, or obviously it still is a thing, but when the Lumia 950 and 950 XL products were available, you could order, etc., fully supported, updates coming out for Windows 10 Mobile, etc. So what I'm going to do here is show you what Continuum is. And the motivation was because Microsoft has added some functionality to Android on the Surface Duo products that some have called Continuum or Continuum-like. And this is not Continuum. Let's look at the definition of continuum. A continuous sequence in which adjacent elements are not perceptibly different from each other, although the extremes are quite distinct. So note that adjacent elements are not perceptibly different, however, at the extremes, quite distinct. And that perfectly describes the use of continuum on the Lumia 950 and 950 XL. In the case here, when you're on a mobile device and say you're working with Microsoft Word, you're presented with a certain UI and experience. And then when you plug in and get the continuum experience going, there you have a change in the UI that takes advantage of the full display capabilities that you have. Now you can continue working on what you started on. So maybe you were writing a Word document and you were doing it in the handheld mode, and then you, I don't know, get to your hotel and you don't want to get your laptop out. You want to just hook up to the TV that's there in your room, or you step into somebody's office and you have access to a monitor. The important thing is that that's all you need. You don't need an internet connection for this to work. So that's an important difference. The technology that Microsoft has currently on Android is nothing more than presenting the desktop, and then you can use, there's one app right now that they have working, and that is Remote Desktop. And you'll see that the experience with Remote Desktop is like it would have been if you used it in Continuum. But this is not Continuum. So in Remote Desktop, you can only do one of two things. You can connect to a remote PC that supports RDP connectivity, or you can use Microsoft Workspaces, which is a part of Azure. Not a lot of people are going to have that. Maybe in some of the bigger places that are heavy into Microsoft 365 may have that. So let's take a look so you can see what Continuum is. So you walk up to a monitor, a TV that supports HDMI input, you connect your cables and everything up, and then you plug into the device. Plugged in, and bam, there we are. First, I want to explain what we see here. So this popped up menu item is actually the Lumia 950 screen. And these are the tiles that exist on that screen. Pressing the Windows key on the keyboard, or of course clicking the Windows key here in the taskbar, will bring up this menu. We do have a taskbar down here, which looks very much like our Windows 10 taskbar. And you'll see some options there in the taskbar. As apps are opened, they will appear in the taskbar. So we navigate this desktop just like we would Windows 10. That's one of the nice things about Continuum. It's important to note that if you do not have a mouse and keyboard, you can use the Lumia 950 as the screen turns into a touchpad and you can bring up an on-screen keyboard. So the first thing I'll do here is I'm going to open up an application. So I'll open up Microsoft Word. Now Word is open and you can open up recent documents. Now these will be both what is on your device and if you are connected, what is available to you from OneDrive. Now I have a document here called Continuum Testing that I've been using in mobile and continuum mode. Let's open that. Okay, here's our document. Ignore the garbage that you see there. The thing that I want you to notice is that up top in the menu toolbar area, or ribbon area, if you will, you're going to see a very familiar experience. It's limited, yes, but it is closer to what you would see on your desktop than what you see in the mobile view. And what you see in the body is just stuff that I have either typed in while in mobile or did by voice to text, as I'm doing right now. This is a voice to text input. What I'm doing is voicing over my previous video. Now I moved the cursor down and I'm typing now just straight from the keyboard input. So you can do voice to text or typing here on the device. Navigate around to correct things just like you would on your desktop. You can feel free to ask me about some of the weird stuff you see in the body. Do that in the comments. Now let's use the keyboard on the Lumia 950. I need to bring that up first. Okay, let's start typing on the keyboard. Or swiping I'm doing. That works as well. So you can use either the keyboard or a on-screen keyboard. Task switching is the same. You can use the Alt tab, but of course right now I don't have any other apps open, so here's what you see. But you know what? We can fix that. So let's go down to the Start button, bring up the menu or the phone, and let's open up OneNote. And here in OneNote, what you will see is a totally different looking app than what we see on Android. This is the Windows 10 Store version of OneNote. So we have a lot more options and a lot nicer UI. But again, just some garbage that I've put into OneNote, both on mobile and in Continuum. So what I'll do is I'll just use the keyboard and type some things. That's what you do with OneNote. You enter information. Granted, there's lots of different kinds of information that you enter, but this is just to show you that you can do that. And now if I go down here and choose, first you can see my two apps in the taskbar, and there I can see them, bring them up through the task switch. Now I'm going to go up and open another app. This is Microsoft Edge, and we all know Microsoft Edge. We'll go to Bing and let's just see how it works. This is the latest version that was available for Windows 10 Mobile. It is not the latest version of Microsoft Edge. So I'm just taking a switch to see how well, doing a search to see how well Microsoft Edge works. Now let's actually look for something like Microsoft Continuum and see what we can find here. So Edge is somewhat usable still in Windows 10 Mobile. It's just that you will find at some sites it doesn't work very well, and you'll actually get notices that it doesn't work very well. So here we're going to Microsoft's page, and lo and behold, we have an issue. This version is no longer supported. So how can we address this, Microsoft? We need to address it. And while I am presented an option to correct this issue, the ultimate download will not work on Windows 10 Mobile because x86 apps were not supported on Windows 10 Mobile. So I can go through this process, it'll not. So I'm going to skip that humorous part of the video. There are the 3 apps doing a task switch. Let's go take a look at apps that we have installed on the device. I'm going to go to my start menu, and then I'm going to go to all apps. And the thing you should notice is the apps that you can see clearly here, those are apps that will operate in continuum mode. The apps that you see that are darkened out, those apps will not work in continuum mode. They only work in mobile mode. So here's a list. I'm going to scroll through and you'll see various apps. There's some side-loaded like the LinkedIn app, which was not ever released for Windows 10 Mobile, but I was able to sideload the store app version of it that Microsoft had released. So really that's it. That is Continuum in a nutshell. Okay, that's Continuum. And just a short demonstration. Hopefully it helps you understand what Continuum is. It is currently usable. Obviously, the technology of Windows 10 Mobile is limited in that it's not been updated. Apps have not been updated. There's no new apps coming in. And even things like Microsoft Edge, as you saw, do not function properly or fully, we should say, because it is an older version. So that's it. Thanks for watching.